Welcome to Recovery Shared. My name is Justin, Michael Stone, and today we're going to be talking about, when you go to meetings and you see all of those little signs all over the room, and they say, like, one's like bathroom, no, not those ones, but like
exit.
ones, yeah, exit, you see that too, but ones that have like words of encouragement and words that really like
sayings all over the place.
Sayings, but today we're going to focus on like just a couple of those words that you see in a lot of meeting rooms, like honesty will be one, stuff like that. Today we're going to talk about a killer in the recovery world, which is complacency. That's going to be the first word we talk about today. Now, I did a little bit of research on just what the word complacency means.
That shit sneaks up on you too.
Oh, dude. And even in the definition, there's a little bit of clues about how cunning complacency really can be. Yeah. Because most people that are being complacent, Mike, from what I've researched, they don't even know they're being complacent.
That's how it sneaks up on you.
That's the sneaky part. So the one definition I found is complacency is marked by self-satisfaction, especially when accompanied by unawareness of actual dangers or deficiencies. A couple other quick little definitions for complacency that I think are useful in our topic today. Complacency is a feeling of quiet pleasure or security, often while unaware of some potential danger. I'm going to say that one again because I think it's really important. Complacency is a feeling of quiet pleasure or security, often while unaware of some imposing danger. So you're sitting there, you're totally satisfied with yourself, you're happy, and yet you shouldn't be because there's this unaware danger that's creeping up on you. Here's one more before we get into our discussion about what complacency is like, is one last definition. And it says that complacency is a feeling of calm satisfaction with your own abilities and or situation that prevents you from trying harder. That, I think, really applies to a lot of people in the rooms. So I see it all the time in like early recovery. Like you'll get a guy that comes in, man, this guy might have been homeless for the last however long. Then he gets into a halfway house and he starts eating, gets his weight up, gets a job, starts to forget how bad it was, starts to feel proud of where he's at.
Memory isn't that good.
We have a quick forgetter, us addicts and alcoholics. We have a real quick forgetter. That's why it's important to remember what it was like a little bit. What's it say in our literature? We are not ashamed of the past. And we're not going to fully close the door on it either. Because we got to remember what it was like. We can't forget. So I think a lot of people, and that goes back into that last definition that I read, was a feeling of calm satisfaction in your own abilities or situation. I'm good.
What's the danger?
I got this. The danger is the three words that any addict or alcoholic should never say. You know what those three words that you should never say are? I got this.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what it is. I got this. The moment that you say I got this, the next two words that any addict should never say, and they might be the two most dangerous words in recovery, come right after those three words you should never say. So right after the three words of I got this come out of your mouth, slowly after that, the two words that are scary to say come later, and that's fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Because if Michael Stone says fuck it, or Justin Sims says fuck it, there's probably a lot of bad decisions coming right after that.
Yeah, that's the danger, is forgetting and thinking that you're
cured.
You're just not thinking about what you need to be doing.
Or, I think a lot of people might get bored in it. Bored. Okay, let's say, like there's a big gap. I was talking to somebody at a meeting about this last weekend. Right after the meeting, we were talking about how there's this gap between the red chip or the red key tag and the gold chip. Or not the gold chip. No, I'm sorry. There's a gap between the red and the blue. So between the red chip or red key tag and the blue key tag or blue chip, so red is 90 days clean and sober. It's either a chip or a tag in either fellowship that you attend. Then there's the blue. The blue is
3 months later.
Right. The blue is for 6 months. So there's a big pitfall that a lot of people fall in, in my experience.
Okay, that's right, but there's also complacency at a year and a half.
Oh, that's
There's
even
also
more.
Complacent at 2 years.
Absolutely. I've got this. My life has gotten so good.
Went from taking the money at McDonald's to like being the assistant manager.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, what, 1.5, 2 years or whatever.
Maybe probably somebody's in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Now they got a girlfriend or boyfriend. Yeah. They're feeling good. They got their. They moved out of halfway. They got their own place now.
I'm just back to living normal life.
I'm good again.
I don't need anything.
Got the car. Got the girl or boy. Got the job. Like you said, they've upgraded. They went from stealing from McDonald's to being a manager or whatever. They've moved up. And when life is getting good...
Well, not stealing.
Not stealing
necessarily. They were working behind the counter.
They weren't making much money. But they've upgraded every aspect of their life. And when you've done that, it's easy to forget how bad it was. I've seen it in kids in treatment. I had a kid, no joke, Mike. This kid called me, was pretty much dying, living behind a dumpster behind a supermarket. I went and picked this kid up, got him scholarshiped in to Daylight. And the kid did the full panel of Daylight, dude. He went to detox, IOP, OP. The last conversation I had with this kid was like the world owed him something still. And he had like 9-10 months put together at this point. And I'm thinking, man, you totally forgot about what it was like behind that dumpster. Right. I didn't forget when I picked you up that day, but I think you forgot. Because you forgot in your attitudes and how you're handling things.
So, if there's 20 people sitting in a meeting, 17 of them are going to forget.
Sure, but that's why but out of that 17, 13 of the 17 are probably in that meeting to help remember.
Yeah.
Why does the guy that's got 30, 40, 50 years still go to meetings? Probably one of two reasons. Probably one, because he's in the routine of, this has been a huge part of my life for the last 30, 40, 50 years. So it's part of his routine. And listen, you probably got to feel good when you walk into a meeting full of 100 people and you've got the most time. You're like the godfather of the meeting or whatever.
There's some payoff.
But another reason why they do it, Mike, is to not forget. The guy with 50, if I'm the guy with 50 years, I might be going in and I might really be tuned into the guy that's got 50 days. So that I can remember what it was like, so I don't get complacent. I think people like that go to meetings on a regular basis still with that much time because it's a complacency killer.
That's possible.
Because it's the ones that get more complacent are the ones that start slacking on the basics that got them to where they're at now.
It's easy to forget.
Absolutely. It's easy as shit. Life gets in the way too. Listen, I've got 2 kids.
Yeah, life gets in the way.
I don't go to as many meetings as I used to, and sometimes I get complacent and will skip a meeting because life comes into my path and it overwhelms me. I've got 2 kids, I got 3 part-time jobs, so I can easily be like, I'm tired. I don't need a meeting. But that usually, and this is what my sponsor says, that's usually when I need a meeting the most.
That's why it's good to have a routine.
But again, life happens.
Right.
And so unexpected things happen.
That's true.
You know,
then you got to get back to your routine the next day quickly.
You're a great example of. I've watched for the last 6 months your routine, and it's one of the healthiest routines I've seen observing someone. You wake up.
I don't vary off of my routine too much.
No, you don't. And that's the thing is, and that's what I'm getting to. I know Mike Stone. He goes to 2 kinds of gyms in the morning. You go to your spiritual gym, and you work out physically too, before you even start your day. That's a great thing. But 2 weeks ago, I ran into you, and you were had this look on your face, and you were panicked, and you were like, "My grandson's in the hospital." You know what I mean? And
that's a routine.
But there was life coming at you, Mike. There was life coming at you, and it was something completely unforeseen. How could you have planned it? But it was like, here's this guy that has this super healthy routine, and then here comes this life moment that's going to disrupt things.
Yeah.
but you got to deal with it.
But look, I don't get as many life moments as probably the majority of people. That's the thing.
No, you just save yours for
It
really
kind of
big life moments.
Yeah, so being that I don't really get those that much, but I stick to my routine.
Yeah, and I've witnessed that. You do. See, I probably could benefit from like trying to take something from a guy like you and instill it into my life, because I'm like, you know me.
But you still have to try new, like...
That's what I'm saying. I need to try new things.
I leave my routine as it is, but I like to also... I know that you need to try other things, like making videos, or whatever it is. Whatever your...
Tracy tells clients all the time.
If you have a plan or like a goal you want to do, just don't fuck your routine up. That's all. I would say.
I could probably benefit from a more structured routine. I'm kind of still like just free floating too much, I think. But I get shit done, but I'm not as rigid about it as you. Like you have your schedule. But again,
right.
Like 2 weeks ago when you had that unforeseen
things come up.
Right.
Sure,
so how do you deal with that, Mike?
I just go back to my routine as soon as they're done, really. I don't know. If something comes up that's like a week or two long interruption.
Crisis to deal with or something.
Yeah, then you need to remember to adjust your routine for those 2 weeks, I guess. I don't know. But
I've seen complacency in my own recovery, though. And I've seen it on levels of like I said, life will come at me or I'll be tired. It's a long day. Do I really want to go to a meeting right now? I probably could like just really, really use like laying in bed and not thinking.
Right.
So there's...
That's when you need to go.
Right.
Then you just say, all right, if I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck it, I don't really want to go to the gym today. I don't really want to go pray today or do my spiritual routine. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Like, that's my voice. That's my bad voice telling me
like the devil
not
talking.
to want to go.
Yeah.
Right. So once you recognize what it is, and everybody has it, it can be called many things. But you have your good inclination and you have your bad inclination.
It's like the cartoon with the angel on his shoulder.
Everyone has it. It's there for a reason. It's there on purpose. It's made to be there.
To test our free will.
Absolutely. Without it, there isn't any free will. Without your good inclination or your bad inclination, there is no free will. It defies the whole meaning of creation.
It's funny you say the whole like free will and it's called other things and stuff. Like here's another small form which could grow if I'm not careful of complacency in my own recovery. There's times like they say like, oh, you're supposed to, like you've heard people say, look in your phone and the last 5 people you called should indicate where your recovery's at. If you looked in my phone right now and looked at the last 5 people I called, you'd be like, wife, job, recovery, job, recovery. Probably. Right now. Like in this moment.
Okay.
So my point is that I've probably, at times, gotten complacent with like, you're supposed to call 3 or 4 people a day from your recovery circle. I don't do that every day. I don't. But then again, I do in a way.
I see most of my
your normal circle
friends, but a lot of them aren't even in recovery. But I kind of see them most days.
But even healthy people in my life that are not in recovery are part of my recovery.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I mean, my whole routine and where I go in the morning for my spiritual workout, there's 1 or 2 people even in recovery.
Well, look at someone like Debbie. Debbie is not someone that on paper is in recovery because she's not one of us.
No.
But she has been a huge influence in my recovery. So she's a perfect example of how you can have someone that's healthy in your life. Like if you're a kid about to go to rehab and they're telling you to change the people, the places, the things, listen, if not all the people may be unhealthy.
Healthy in your life is probably a better word to put it. I mean, look, when you're just like got clean and you're going to 90 and 90 and all of that stuff, that's one
Yes, be
level.
rigid then to build
But
the
then
foundation.
you get people who are at least like healthy. Those are, I don't want to say just as good, because it probably is better to have more people that are like in the same kind of situation as you.
Sure, especially early on, like you're saying.
Or you work with people, or you who are in recovery, or you somewhat are at least around.
That's what I mean by like my 5 people, like 4 of them may be in recovery, but we're not talking about recovery when I call them. But they're in recovery, they're part of my family circle. So it's, yeah, but I had people, when I got clean and sober, there was a bunch of people I had to cut off. Anybody I drank with or used with, I had to cut off. But there was a good handful of people, more than a handful. There was a good 20 people that knew I had a problem before I did. That were like praying for years, like, I hope he gets his shit together. And then when I did, they like were back around like, hey man, I'm so proud of you. Like, I was waiting for this to happen. Those people deserve, and I want in my life still. But they're from my life when I wasn't.
Who do you have that's drinking?
Nobody.
Nobody?
Jessica might have.
I don't think I can remember.
Jessica,
I don't even have. No one really even drinks.
That's not true. I shouldn't say nobody.
That's not even. That's not what I'm talking about. Like
talking about
someone
drinking?
who has a drink. No.
Yeah. That's
Who
where
do I
I'm
even
at.
have that I'm like I'm
You're
trying
saying-
to think of someone.
Wait. Let me ask you. Be specific about the question. Are you asking who
A
you have in your
social
life?
drinker.
That's drinking alcoholically?
Is drinking a lot.
Nobody.
That goes out to bars.
Jessica,
and-
nobody. Jessica might have a glass of wine once every 3 months. Like,
Yeah.
and my mom's the same way. Like, dude, I can't even remember. Like, I mean, I have friends that drink, man, but it's not like.
But you don't go with them anywhere.
No, I don't go to bars and shit. But like, I have friends like like my friend Brad, for example, who teaches at Dreyfus with me. Great guy, not an alcoholic or an addict. I watch football with him. He's like my football buddy.
Right.
Me and he has got a baby that's Nora's age. Jessica's friends with him, so we go over there. I'll sit there and watch like 6 hours of football with him. He might have 2 or 3 beers in
that's
that
not what I really
6 hours.
Right.
But like, nobody I know like goes to bars. Like,
But most of the world like drinks.
yeah, we live in an alcoholic, druggy world.
So
dude.
if you don't drink and you really don't want to be around it, I don't like being around it really. I don't care if it's like people that just like beers during a football game.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care about that either. But I certainly don't want to deal with an intoxicated person.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't
Fuck
either.
no. They're annoying as shit. But then again, I have, since I've gotten sober, I'm like, God, is this karma? Because of all the people that dealt with my stupid ass when I was drunk? Maybe.
So you could have complacency in many things.
Absolutely.
You have forgetting the whole recovery part.
What about a relationship? Like when you
Yeah.
first court a woman, like, man, I'm so into her, I'm going to buy her
Well, that's a
flowers
good one.
and surprise her and write her poetry and send her. Jessica busted me the other day. You know what I started doing, me and Jessica? Like the first 3 months we started dating, when I was out like wherever, I would take pictures of flowers and send them to her. So then the other day she's like, look at this. And she shows me all these pictures of flowers. It's from like 2 years ago. I was like, I probably should start doing
I have an app.
I should probably start doing that again.
I have the fucking cool. I make sure I get to go. I communicate in,
Wait a minute.
gifts daily.
You have an app that does what? Saves your ass from
Comes up
from
with
being
pretty
complacent in your
cool
relationship?
Gifts. No, it says it has all stuff like to send.
Can you send me
So
that?
I send a GIF.
Smart man.
Yeah, that's.
I've gotten complacent though, and I think a
I
lot
don't
of
have to
people
talk
do.
to her about anything. I just send a GIF.
I bet you.
Gift,
You know
not
what?
A gift.
No, a GIF.
A
Like
GIF.
this ones that say "I love you" or it has hearts on it or it has whatever.
Has like
I think a
smiley
relationship
face
that
with it.
becomes confidence, though,
Yeah.
Not
complacency.
No, it could
Or
be both.
confusion
It could
between
be
the
both.
two.
Complacency.
'Cause
You
I was
become
about to-
confident that you have the person.
That yeah. I
No,
think that's
what
more
you
on the
call-
women's side.
No, that's what you call. Oh man, I can't think of the
Territorial
word.
entitlement?
No, not. It's the same as entitlement, but now the word is escaping me.
Like where you own someone.
Right.
Like
when you're not appreciating
I don't know.
taking them for granted.
But I'll tell you.
Taking them for granted.
Taking them for granted. Absolutely.
That's not good either. That's why the gifts were.
A lot of relationships end that way, man. Listen,
I
I
send
think
a text every day for that's.
you're a smart dude. I better go outside and find some flower
Yeah.
bushes and take my phone out there and start sending them. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
But then she's gonna be like, you only did that because I brought it up.
Oh my god.
That's the problem I'm gonna
Oh my
have.
God.
You know
Yeah.
I'm gonna. You know that's what she would say.
I hear it.
Here's where
That's why
girls do
they
it. Think that
You only did that because I brought it up, right?
what did what
No, that's what she said. You only. Right.
did what? Because Sue brought what up?
Because you only got me the flowers because I brought it up.
Right. That's exactly what she would say if I went outside right now and sent her flowers.
Yeah.
Trying to be not complacent in my relationship. But women do the same shit, and I'll tell you how. Men, I think, and this is generally speaking here, but men, will start with in the courting process, the dinners and the whining and the dining and the flowers and the I love yous and the super romantic and opening every door. And as time goes on and we get comfortable or confident in the relationship, that stuff slacks.
But it also
Okay.
changes once you have kids. Wanting
Yeah.
flowers could turn into wanting you to do dishes or clean up after the dogs or
I'd so much rather just buy
completely different
flowers.
things.
Now, women, though, do it with sex.
You need to
Women do it with sex.
remember the 3 A's. And you will have no problems in any of those areas.
The 3 A's, what are they?
Attention, appreciation, affection. Remember the
Mic
3
drop.
A's? You won't have any problems in any of those areas.
Attention, affection,
Appreciation.
appreciation.
It's a very simple secret.
That is a simple
It's not
secret.
hard. It's very simple.
That and
It's
she's
not,
always
I don't
right.
think it's easy, but it's very simple solution.
That and she's always right.
If,
That's a
if
good one to
things are
live by.
fucked up, you forgot the fucking 3 A's.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though, right? About Mike, like with women with sex. Listen,
Right. And I'm saying if you have the 3 A's, that's not an issue.
sure it's not an issue, but I've been in relationships, and I'm not
If
saying
you're
I have
doing
the 3 A's.
the 3 A's, that should not be an
Alright,
issue.
I
unless
probably wasn't doing
there's
the
like
3
a-
A's
Right.
in this relationship I'm speaking about, not the one I'm currently in.
Right.
But I'm saying, when I first got with the person, it was like sex every day or whatever. And then
Yeah. Well, that's just your normal
normal
thing.
But then that stops too, and you're like, did they
Now,
get
kids-
did they get complacent though?
Look, here's the thing.
Did they get complacent?
Of course.
And then it's like,
Maybe-
damn, I remember when me and my girl got together, we were having that sex 10 times a day. Now I can't get laid but once every 10 months.
Well, then
That's
you
a
need
big difference.
to-
Yeah, then you got
Get
deeper
divorced.
problems. You got deeper
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah. So look, when you have kids, shit changes.
Sure.
I watched this lady who was on a TED Talk, and she was like, okay, guys, women have the natural thing that comes over them to want to have sex when they're looking to have a baby. That's the natural part of it. That's how
Remember that, gentlemen.
Right. Seriously. That all that stuff, like, that's all because they're
The
needing
instincts.
to have a baby.
The
Yeah.
instincts are kicking in. I think at the end of the day, and I think we've covered some good things. I want to get on to the next word we're going to talk about in this video. But like complacency in recovery, in your relationship, like Mike said, it can happen in any aspect of your life. I think the scariest part about it, Mike, is that it's like a silent thing. It creeps
Yeah.
up on you. You don't even know
It
when
can
you're
happen
being
in your job,
complacent.
too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, especially when you know your job, like when you get good at it, then you can just like kind of like wing it, or like half-ass it, or like sit and like get all your shit done and like just bullshit.
Right.
Yeah,
Complacency in your business keeps you in the same spot.
I got like that with the pee a little bit when I used to do the pee, because when I first did the pee, I was like learning. Stop laughing at me, Sarah. When I was learning, I was like so like, all right, this pee is like, I was like so into the pee. I know it sounds ridiculous.
Okay, he's talking about
UAs
right.
at the treatment center.
That's your job.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I was like, dude, when I could do that shit like with one hand and like blindfolded, I was just like, boop. Like I didn't even care. Like, because I could just do it. Before I was like so attentive and like everything had, and I was still doing it right, but I didn't care as much because, and the weird part is I cared less probably about like, oh, here's another cup of pee.
Yeah.
But I was probably doing more work because I was good at it. I was faster. So I was probably getting more done, but still not caring. Like, here's another cup of pee.
Yeah.
What was like before, dude?
Complacency happens in like a lot of things.
I used to empty everybody's trash every day. Debbie used to make fun of me because I would dig through the trash. Remember that, Sarah? I would dig through the trash every day and empty when I was bored and clean everybody's offices. Then when like 3-4 months into the job and like my workload got bigger, I was like, I'm not fucking emptying everybody's trash every day. Like I don't even have time to do that shit. And like I just no, like I just stopped doing it. But when I first was there, it was like, so maybe that was complacency. So guys, if you got a friend or somebody that you know is being complacent in any aspect of your life, or if you think you might be, ask someone that's going to be honest with you. Give me a real honest evaluation here.
Okay.
Because it'll creep up on you and you won't even know it.
Yep.
Another word that we see all over the rooms, integrity.
Another sayings, yeah.
And it's that might be the most important element. That and honesty. But honesty and integrity are just like brother and sister. So
integrity, honesty is like when you're actually performing an action of telling someone the truth.
Like just
integrity, I think, is just like something you have.
Like you're living it.
Yeah, it's not really an action. Well, it can be, but...
I can agree with that. So if like I'm honest with Mike right now, it might be like a confession. Like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm honest.
Is like a daily living...
Where integrity is like a way of life.
Right.
The definition I found is integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, or moral uprightness. I like that a lot, because like it kind of said what you just said. Honesty is like saying something truthful. Integrity is a moral uprightness.
Right. Righteous.
There's no shortage of people that are faking the funk.
Everybody's fake. Most people.
Most people. I'm talking about in the rooms of recovery.
Yeah.
There's no shortage of people faking the funk. For example, I could drive to in Utah, let's say. Never been there. Nobody knows me there. I'm decent at talking, right? Yeah. So, and I know recovery. So I could easily sit in a meeting where nobody knows me. Name's Justin. I'm one of you.
I left my Ferrari at home.
I left my Ferrari at home and I got 15 years today.
Yeah. That's true.
How would anyone know? How would anyone know that I don't have 15 years? Because check it out. I can sound like I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you really know? Behavior doesn't lie. I think the most important part of this entire recovery lifestyle is the quiet moments that nobody sees, Mike. Nobody sees but God. Nobody sees you doing the right thing. Nobody. And the flip side of that is, if you're the guy that's in the AA meeting, and when the AA meeting gets out, and you might have been the one giving out the chips, and you're sitting in the parking lot with your little mini bottle, God sees that too.
Yeah.
Those quiet moments where nobody's watching are the most important piece of this entire clean and sober lifestyle. Because that's really where you're going to get that moral uprightness. Nobody's around to see me do this great deed, because it doesn't matter that anybody sees it or not. It matters that I'm living it. It matters that I'm doing it. To thine own self be true. You got to look at yourself in the mirror. You got to put your head on your pillow at night. So if you're the one that's high in a meeting saying, yeah, this is what you should do, rah, 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 or you're hitting the bar. I mean, like I said, man, there's no shortage of people faking the funk. Integrity is something either you have or you don't have. You can't be 1 foot in integrity and 1 foot not. You can't. You can't half-ass integrity. Either you've got it or you don't got it. And I think it's something that over time is proven if you have or not.
Right. Absolutely.
But you have to start with self-integrity.
Sure. Absolutely. But through self-integrity, is where other people see your integrity. Mike holds himself as self-integrity. I'm like, that guy, he lives honest. He lives, you know what I mean? Because look how he handles himself. Look how he carries himself. And that will sprinkle off into every little part of his life, I think.
Yeah, but what about someone asking you, like, how you are, and you say, okay?
Yeah, that's kind of not integrity. That's
like a very low form of it. I mean, I think
just like a look. There's look. That's the honest thing. There's being. If you're saying okay, I'm feeling. Someone's asking you how you're feeling. You're saying fine. Well, that person might not be their fucking business. First of all,
it might not be the time and all that
it might
too.
be you just not wanting to get into a fucking discussion at the moment.
Or how many times does the average person ask another person every day, "How are you?" and they really don't care to know how
I
the
don't want
person
to
is.
know.
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Fuck.
Hey, how are you? It's
Yeah.
it's a what's up. It's a hey. It's an acknowledgement. It's not I really want to know how you are.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's hey, how are you? I mean, I say that to people in elevators that I've never seen in my life. Hey, how are you?
Someone asks you at a meeting how you are.
At a meeting?
Yeah.
Here's the. It's funny you brought that up.
Fine when you're not fine in certain situations, it's probably not good.
Well, I think most people have a hard time asking for help. So it is, especially men. You know, the pride, the ego thing, or whatever. I think she touched on something important.
Right.
So if somebody says to you in a meeting, "How are you?" That's different than the guy on the street. "Hey, how are you, bud?" A guy in a meeting is gonna go, "How are you?"
But
You know what I mean? And like try to like look through your soul. You know, like
Right.
really try to see how you're doing.
well, it's also in your relationship. Pretty much, you're not going to get away with that answer.
Probably. And going back to relationship too, for example, I see you almost every day, Mike. I don't think you've ever asked me how I am. I don't think you've ever been
No.
like, "Hey Justin, how are you?"
I
So
don't-
if you did that, I'd be like, "What? Mike wants to know how I'm feeling."
I
Well,
really
Mike,
generally
this
don't-
morning I had like
Yeah, I generally really don't want to
Yeah, I
discuss
know.
about how someone is.
So if you in our relationship randomly one day were like, "Justin, how are you?" I'd be like,
Maybe there's something going on.
"Is there something up with Mike?" Or like, does he think something's up with me? Like, why is he asking me how I am randomly? So like you said, it depends on relationship, but integrity
That's
is
just my general ability to excel in not giving a fuck. I just have it.
Can you say that
I
whole
have
sentence
that
one more
fucking.
time? Say that
I have a
sentence one
general.
more time.
I excel in it.
No, say the whole verbatim.
That's just. It's just my general ability to excel in not giving a fuck.
Yo, make that a bumper sticker. Somebody out there, send it to us. You do excel at that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's.
But it keeps you stress free.
I don't think it's you not giving a fuck.
No,
I
it's
think
just
it's
in
more
general.
you know when to care and not
It
care.
depends what it is. I'm
You can
saying
shut
like
the
in
switch
general,
off and on.
right. Right.
See, I need some of that, Mike, because I give a shit too much.
Right.
And then people
That
piss me
is-
off because they don't give a shit as much as I give a shit.
Right. That, to me, can be a barrier to you moving forward. If you give a shit about everything and everybody and what they think. And what happens.
It's hard as an actor, man.
Yeah. It's hard in anything. If you're worried, if it's like a part of your being that you care, like about what everybody thinks, that's a problem.
See, I don't.
That's gonna hold you back.
I don't think it's
No
that I
doubt.
care what people think, but I have an invested interest in how people feel. Because, for example, I want to make movies that don't necessarily make people think necessarily, but I want to make them feel. You know what I mean? So I care about. You can think I'm a jerk or untalented or an idiot or whatever, but if I can make you feel something, then I'm doing my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Right, but if it keeps you from making a film because people might think it's stupid, or that you're wasting your time, or that you're not going to be able to make a film, or whatever.
I never would have
That's
made
the kind
any.
of shit that stops you.
Because there's always people that don't think you can.
Right, that's
and there's
more
always
what I'm
people that
talking
don't
about.
believe in you or think
Right.
whatever. And you got to look past that stuff. You have to have a singular vision to the point of, any great leader or any great person that invented anything, they had 1,000 doors closed to the one that opened.
Right.
So you just got to have that nonstop, and you have to have the same thing in your recovery. You have to have your eye on the prize no matter what. I saw somebody put the other day, it was yesterday on Facebook, and it's this girl that I've known for like a year and a half in the rooms. I'm pretty sure she's clean and sober. I don't see her as often as I used to, but like I'm pretty sure she has like a year and a half put together. In a row, guys, nights and weekends. But she put like, you know, when I first got into recovery, somebody told me I'm going to have to walk over a lot of dead bodies. Well, now it's like getting to the point, like it's ridiculous because I've known so many people that have died and stuff like that. Like, guys, you have to have such a singular focus in order to do this thing long term. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon.
People die.
People die.
People die.
And at the end of the day, everybody has to do their own wanting. It doesn't matter how much I want it for Mike or pay to help him or love him so much. None of that shit means anything until Mike is ready. And more than likely, it's not going to be me that gets to him a loved one. It's going to be another alcoholic or addict that he's never met or doesn't know for long that's going to relate to him. That's what's going to get to him. So people are going to die, guys.
Yeah.
You can only take care of yourself. In the long run, you got to put your oxygen mask on first when the plane's going down and secure it before you can run around and help everybody else put it on.
You got to put that in your rear view.
So don't be complacent. And ask somebody else, since we don't know if we're being complacent a lot of times because it creeps up on us. Have integrity and ask somebody, do you feel like I'm being complacent in any aspect of my life? Someone that's going to be honest with you. Best friend stab you in the front.
Having integrity is not impossible, but to me, it's a lot harder if you don't have a spiritual connection to a higher power, because I'm sure people do it. I just think it's a lot easier.
I think integrity is a spiritual gift.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier. Like there's only speaking like in my personal and my own like things that I follow, there's certain things that are just laws.
Yeah.
That makes it easier.
Sure. Yeah, this is the rule. Do not
It's
and
the law.
do.
It's laid down.
You know, I think integrity too is something that carries with us after our death. For example, when people talk about my father, the overall theme is he was one of the great ones. He was a good guy. He was honest. He had integrity. He would help, whatever. Those types of things, people remember us posthumously. You know what I mean? So integrity, man, is like a legacy builder.
There's laid out thousands of years ago the 10 things you need to do to have integrity.
This is true.
Simple.
This is true.
To me. From my opinion.
Let me name a couple of those off that list that would definitely be integrity killers.
Yeah.
If I killed someone,
Yeah.
not gonna have much integrity.
If you murdered someone. Killing someone is not against
Yeah, if it's
law.
you trying to kill me and I kill you because you're trying to kill me.
Right.
If I murder someone,
Right.
where's the integrity in that?
Right.
If I commit adultery,
Right.
integrity out the window.
Yeah.
If I'm dishonest,
Yeah.
there's just a couple from that famous tablet, okay, guys? But those, like you said, that's a good way to follow it. That if you follow that, it builds legacy. But if you break one of those,
It loses then you lost it.
it's an integrity killer.
Yeah.
Guys, so listen, anything in life that's worth anything is not easy to obtain. But it's worth it. Integrity, like you're saying, it's not easy, and it's a daily reprieve. Just like a diabetic has to wake up every day and check their blood sugar. Same thing with people in recovery. I wake up every day with untreated alcoholism.
If it's easy, it's not worth it. Most times.
That's it. That girl that's meant to be for you, or that guy that's meant to be for you, probably won't be easy.
No.
If you go and you meet somebody at the bar tonight or a club and you take them home and it's that easy,
Then you'll be like, when you wake up, what the fuck?
not only was it probably that easy for everybody else, but also they're probably not the one. And there's no integrity in that either.
No.
Guys, listen. Stay tuned to Recovery Shared. If you're suffering or you know someone who is suffering, this is your source, your online source for all things addiction and recovery. We want to hear from you.
And you have, if you
Comments.
have any comments about questions or anything you want to know.
Guys, we want to hear from you. So comment. Don't forget to like and please subscribe our page so that we can continue giving you all this interesting content. We'll see you soon. Recovery Shared. We're out of here. Hey, thanks for watching Recovery Shared. Please go to our About page on our channel and you'll find links to treatment centers that we've reviewed and recommend. Also on our About page, you'll find helpful links to traditional and non-traditional recovery help. Let's help each other together. We can help save a life.